Hello, all you lovely people. I am Purple Thickman, and today we're going to be checking out Red Ronin. It is a turn-based tactics dash and slash. This game builds itself around the mechanic that we all know and love from ice block puzzles and games like Pokemon or The Legend of Zelda, and we can just kind of jump into it right now. So this is red. So this is how it ends. Losing everything made me realize what I had. Right or wrong, truth or lies, none of this makes sense. Forgive me, guys. We'll all be together soon. Chapter 1, Blood Trail. You're sure about this, right? So this is Isaac. He's kind of our robot companion. Red, this is just the beginning, Isaac. And you know the consequences. Yes, just give me his location. The target is on the highest floor. My readings are indicating a high number of individuals inside. It is likely that they know we are coming. Perfect. Do you want a shortcut? No. Let's go by the front door. So this is the titular Red. This is the character that we're going to be playing as the whole game. And as you can see already, this is primarily a puzzle game, even though it does get very gruesome in some of the later levels. The core gameplay of this, the like turn-based tactics of this game is just kind of like sliding around, and it does introduce a lot of cool, like, I guess you'd call them power-ups later on that let you really do a lot, building on this kind of like slide until you hit something mechanic, and it's actually a lot of fun. This game can get really fast-paced, but it is kind of meant to be played, you know, one turn at a time. And as you can see here, I'm just now figuring out that you have to kill everyone on the floor. So you can't just make it to the end and then move on. This game does require you to take care of everyone. As you can see, this is my first death where I realized how enemies attack. So if they are right next to or one space away from where you are going to end up or slide by them, they will kill you. So you have to avoid the enemies like that, so you have to kind of maneuver your character around. And these first levels leading up to the first boss are set up really well in that, for the most part, it does take me a little bit to figure out in some of the later levels, but for the most part, the levels are designed so that you kind of know what path to take. You can see me, I'm struggling here a little bit. To kind of figure out what's going on once you get off of the kind of intended path. These are some of the traps that you'll see. These spike traps are fine once you land on them or you pass by them. The next turn, they activate, and they will kill you and enemies, which is really nice. So you can set it up to take care of people that you won't be able to slash your way through in some of the later levels. And this is our first power-up, so this lets us freeze all of the enemies for one turn, which is used in some really cool ways later on. You see they introduce this power-up and then they just have you using it immediately and constantly too. At this point, I'm like, I have no idea what to do. Some of these levels, even though they're all small, almost like one-screen puzzles for the most part, they do take a little bit of figuring out. Some of them are really easy, especially these early levels. You can just kind of follow the path, and it's fine. And this is something that it took me a second to realize on my initial playthrough, in that the spike traps, like I said earlier, will actually kill enemies. It takes me a little bit of time to realize here exactly what is going on and how to use all of these little freezes. And we're already on the 10th floor here, and they're introducing yet another mechanic. This one is a lot more involved from a player standpoint than the, freeze every enemy for one turn. This one, you pretty much set down almost like a warp pad, where once you dash into this, you can place it anywhere on the screen, so long as it's not below an enemy. And then once you dash to it, it completely redirects you. And that is really useful for a lot of these later sections. It's as far as the power-ups go, freezing all the enemies is kind of like an expected power-up, freeze them all for one turn. This is something that I wasn't expecting, but totally makes sense for a game like this, and it meshes really well with the mechanics of the game. This is a game that the development team, which is, I believe, Wire Dreams Studio, they figured out a mechanic that they wanted to use, and then they really took the time to understand their core gameplay loop, which is this, slide until you hit something, kind of one block, or not one block, sorry, ice block puzzle mechanic, and then they just really, really built and innovated on it. And I'm really impressed with everything that they did. This is a phenomenal game, and even though it is a puzzle game, it does feel really fast-paced. This is when I realized that you can't put it underneath a enemy. You can see once you get the first bit of a level down, this is, I just realized that I messed up. Once you get the first bit of a level down, you can really fly through it. This would be a game I would love to see speedrun, because all of the levels are the same for the most part. The only thing that changes are the actual looks of the enemy characters, like their sprite models change and all that, which you might notice on some of the levels when I die. But outside of that, all of the power-ups and all of the enemies are in the exact same position. So if you can memorize all the layouts or whatever the fastest way to complete these puzzles are, the speedrunner for this would be really cool to watch, just flying across the screen, taking care of all the enemies, very fast, precise placements of the Z-pads, which are these right here, and the time slow and all that. It'd be a really impressive run to watch if done well. I'd love to see that. This is another cool aspect of this game is on these later levels. I've noticed this kind of like boss rush, where we are rushing after the boss to fight them. The power-ups that you pick up, you don't use them all on each screen, because you'll see I actually finished some of these screens with one power-up left over, and then they carry on to the next room, and they're actually all used up by the end. So I come into this room with a Z-pad for this final boss here of this level, who is Chatty. Apparently somebody that we know. The story is very vague coming into it as to why we're hunting all of these people down. But Chatty here, offers us money. They want to know who sent us to take care of them. They're doing anything they can to get out of this. But Red just does not care. She's here for a reason. and she's going to finish her mission. But like I was saying, we come in here with one final Z-pad, and it is required. As you can see on the right side of the screen, if Chatty gets to the other side of the screen, she's gone. So we actually need this Z-pad that we bring with us to take care of her. All right, and there it is. Chatty, our old friend, is gone. What is this? This looks like a memory unit. They're generally used to store sensitive information, and the data contained has very secure encryption. Do you think it can be decrypted? It may take some time, but yeah, it's possible. I'm receiving data from the bottom floor. She's moving. Okay, let's go. This scene I absolutely love. Just riding the elevator down with the bodies of some of the other henchmen that we've taken care of. Very carefree. And this is the first room that we're in, but in reverse. The car is gone. As expected, the locator is already working. She's going north on 5th Avenue. Let's go, now. Not yet. I want to see what's inside this thing. Okay, just don't forget we're doing this. And that is level 1. It took about, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. We get an S rank, couple deaths, 340 turns. I'm not super sure what the points are for, but there is a point system that you could have been paying attention to throughout. It's in the top right-hand corner. But that is all that we're going to be checking out of Red Ronin. Just a taste of what this game has. Now, according to the Steam page from the devs, there's about 5 hours of this turn-based combat, and there's a lot of more open-ended types of puzzles that end up going on. Like, these first few levels are really just introducing you to the basic mechanics, but this game really starts to open up, and it gets a lot more intense as you start to dig into some of the later levels. And it really is a lot of fun. I think for $8, which is not very expensive for a game of this quality, this game's really polished. It's a lot of fun, and it's just a really unique take on a type of game mechanic I think that we're all familiar with. I think most of us have seen the ice block puzzles from probably Pokemon is what most people are familiar with, but they turn up in all kinds of games. And to see a game completely built around that mechanic is really awesome, and I think the devs did a phenomenal job. So if you want to see more Red Ronin, like if you want to see a full playthrough, like a full Let's Play of this, just comment below. If you like the content, hit that like button, subscribe. Really helps the channel out, and I will see all of you lovely people later. Have a good day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are.